Great to see you here. My name is Luc de Koster, founder of the Koster Academy, and in this video I will explain some specific terminology that is used by people working in Scrum. But before we continue, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Let's have a look at that specific terminology. The first thing is about chickens and pigs, and the story is that a chicken and a pig are starting a restaurant, and they call the restaurant Ham and Eggs. Now, basically here, when we look at the pigs, partner in this restaurant, they're committed because to get the meat from the pig, you have to kill the pig, of course. And basically, this is referred to the Scrum team. The Scrum team are the people who are committed to do the work. They are called the pigs. And we also talk the chickens. They are involved, but the chickens are basically the stakeholders who provide the work that has to be done by the pigs. So basically, the restaurant's Ham and Eggs is a funny story how they see it to be committed or to be involved. Now, another thing is when we look at this, we have the Scrum board. And the Scrum board is a board which has some different columns on it, some different lines. We can have backlogs to do really for the sprint, what is ongoing. We can look at quality assessment and what is finished. And we look at the backlog. And we use with Post-its or color cards that have a specific meaning. We can give a yellow can be a quality, a red can be a difficult task, blue and everything, a green. We can give a kind of code to these different colors. First, we have the backlog, which are all the stories that we have to do to complete the project. Once we start with the sprint, we move a number of the stories or more detailed tasks to the to-do column. So that's what we're going to do in the next sprint. And once we start, we see that we're moving those papers, those activities to the ongoing column. We're working on them. Once the work has been done, we have to do some quality assessment. And once the quality assessment is finished, we can say that those stories, that those activities have been completed. And that's basically what we do. All the work that we wanted to do in the sprint, once that work is all finished, the sprint is finished. But it's very important to understand, it may happen that we cannot finish everything and that we find out after the elapsed time of the sprint that there is still work that has not been completed. They can still be in the to-do list or they can be ongoing or in quality assurance. Basically, the sprint will stop. And what we do with those activities, we decide if we want to redo them, yes or no. We may have identified some problems, and basically we will be saying yes or no what we will do. That's the Scrum board. Now we have stories in product and sprint backlogs. In Agile, we refer to stories as the description of the work to be done. So the stories are in fact all the ideas that we have, all the work that we want to complete in our project. When we look at the stories, we sort them in order of value. We give them a priority. We try to create value. That's one of the main elements of Agile. We are in the business of creating value. It gives a priority, and the chickens provide basically the stories. Those are the people who want the product, who want the project to be completed. They are the business people who will tell you what they need to have the project. The pigs will develop the stories in a way that they can be used in the sprints. So basically the stories provided by the chickens, they have to be adjusted. They may be divided in smaller stories, smaller parts, so that they can be used in the different sprints. And that's the Scrum team that's going to do that. The Scrum team provides those better stories, those stories adjusted to be worked on in the sprint. We also have to see that the work that is done in the sprint creates something that is working. So we should not put too much money in there, work in there, but also not too little. We will see later what we can look at, what we can expect, and we have to see that we can do the work in the sprint and get that finished product that we want to create at the end of the sprint. We have user stories. Typically, these are stories of explanations, a written explanation of what has to be done. We also have technical stories. So they are the technical aspects that we need to complete to make everything work. And we also have spikes. Spikes may be a study or are studies to understand the user story. It may be that we have a user story which is rather complex and we cannot start with it immediately. What we have to do in that case is to implement a spike, and we do the study in the sprint to understand the user story. And once we understand the user story, it can be added to the next sprint. So that were some interesting items about how people work in Scrum, what terminology they use. And it's very interesting to understand. And when you look at it, when you compare it with some other type of project management, it doesn't look so serious, but it doesn't have to be. They're serious about what they're doing. They have a way to do it. They make the work, let's say, in a good atmosphere. And basically, it's the thing that you want to do. You want to have a team that's working together. A little bit of humor will help the team to be more efficient. And all these things together creates a very good working atmosphere between all the people. So that was it for this video. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Thank you, and bye-bye.